So, and we kind of touched on this while we were talking about the caloric deficit.
Mhm.
So, I want to follow a specific diet, but there's so many to choose from, and it could be confusing, right? So, what is a keto diet? What's a Mediterranean diet? Or what is being vegan and vegetarian, right? What does that diet look like? So, some basic definitions of these are as follows, right? A keto diet or a ketogenic diet focuses on the low carbs, high fat intake. Mediterranean diet focuses on the vegetables, fruits, herbs, nuts, and whole grains. Sometimes it can include dairy, poultry, or seafood. A vegetarian diet is very similar, but it can include eggs, but it excludes meat. A vegan diet excludes all meat and animal products. So those are the basics of a few different diets, right? Let me come back out here. So um, let's dive into that a little bit, Jackie. You're talking about the different diets, right? And I heard you talk about a keto diet and you're limited to carbs. So if someone is saying, I guess it depends on goal, right? If I want to lose weight, or if I want to become a bodybuilder, if I want to, if I want to become an endurance athlete, right? Can you speak to that a little bit about the different goals and diets?
So the first thing when I get this question often, people say, well,
Hmm.
they want to work with me and I do customized meal planning for the clients that I work with. And they'll say,
Hmm.
well, I want to be a vegan. And my first question is why?
Mm, okay.
Why you've been eating meat all of your life? Why now do you want to be a vegan?
Sure. Sure.
Well, Beyonce did it to lose weight. No, okay. So I'll say pause. What is it you want your body to look like? Well, I want to
Right.
lift weights. I want to do this. And I said, do you know any vegans who look the way you want to look?
Mm, okay. Who?
Do you know any? Do you know any personally? No. A
Mhm.
lot of vegans that I see, everyday people who transition to that lifestyle, ultimately end up gaining weight because they overload on carbohydrates and processed foods.
Mm,
There are people who are vegans and vegetarians who are very much the pillar of health, but they have researched, they have done their homework, they're balancing their macros. When you have those people who are, superstars and rich or athletes, they have chefs putting things together for them. They're not just
yep.
out there randomly picking plant-based things. A lot of plant-based foods and meat options are very, very
Hmm.
heavy in carbohydrates. And so you have to know which ones are higher in protein so that you can balance that, because
Mm,
ultimately you're ingesting a lot of carbs all the time and you have to be careful with that. And so that's the other thing in terms of
hmm.
what you want your body to do and how you want it
Hmm.
to perform. Picking a diet, my suggestion is pick one based on what you want your goals to be, right? If you want strength, if you want endurance, let's look at the foods that you need to give your body to do that versus trying to make a diet fit within it.
Mm,
Oftentimes we are picking things that go against what our bodies can do. I'm really, really heavily interested in work now around eating for your blood type. And so where people are like,
oh,
oh,
wow.
ketogenic
Okay.
diet, oh, the Mediterranean diet. What we
Hmm.
know is that there are people who those diets work for because culturally their ancestral lineage traces back to those places where those foods were plentiful. So the
Sure.
acidity in their stomach works towards that. And that's why they're successful in it. Whereas someone
Sure.
else who is from a different part of the globe, those foods weren't there. You can't do it. I mean, there
So,
is
so you're saying it's kind of counterproductive
very,
for your physiology
yes.
based on different areas of the world.
Right.
Interesting.
So if
Okay.
you, for
Yeah.
example, and here's the other thing. So working against science, I absolutely never do that. But here's the thing, when
Sure.
you look at all those diets, like you gave a very clean breakdown of what they are. Everything on there where it talks about the things that you eat or what it excludes, those aren't the things that people are eating in excess to gain extra fat.
Right. Right. Because nothing on that list was processed.
No.
Nothing on that list came in a package.
No, there wasn't
So,
pizza, there was no fried chicken, there was no wine, it wasn't any of those things. And so the
right.
things that
Right.
people need to decrease eating until they get to the goal and then get those things in,
Hmm.
small doses, those are the
Sure.
things you pull back on You know, if your body can handle the meat proteins, it can handle it. Some people's bodies can't digest it. Some bodies
Mhm.
work better. If you're a person who is blood type O, you thrive on meat and vegetables. You don't do well with dairy. There's
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't gone too deeply into eating for your blood type, but
yes, and
makes
a
perfect sense. Yeah.
lot of African American people, lineage by way of Africa, you know, where
Hmm.
we come from culturally, that's what we had access to. So it's
Sure.
not a coincidence that many of us are lactose intolerant.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so people like,
And
I'm going to be vegetarian because I can't eat that. But the meat is the part that our systems
that you're
all
missing,
know that you
right?
have high acidity to really break down and thrive on.
Or even the type of dairy, right? If we're talking dairy, maybe you need to transition to goat dairy or something of that
Yes.
nature, not the cow dairy is what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And there are certain vegetables,
Hmm.
fruits, and things like that. Even certain fish. The one thing I thought it was interesting. Both of my parents are, you know, I got old school, old school Black parents. They, you know, they eat catfish two,
Oh,
three times a
yeah. Oh,
week.
cornmeal and all of it, making
And
me hungry. Go ahead.
interestingly enough, both of my parents are insulin dependent diabetics. They're
Hmm.
both blood type O.
Mm.
People who are blood type O should not eat catfish.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Wow.
It
Look at
doesn't
that.
work well with the acidity in your stomach. There's other white fish that you can eat, but catfish is on the
Sure.
one
But
that
cap is even one of them that you shouldn't.
they
Well, how about if you blacken it? Does that work? No, that doesn't.
yeah. So
Still
in looking
catfish.
at those diets, my suggestion is always work
Yeah.
with what you want your body to do, how you want to perform, and how you want to feel.
Gotcha. And I want to kind of piggyback on that real quick. Would you also suggest or advise seeing a doctor, also like a medical doctor, to find out what conditions you may have so
Yeah.
that you can kind of work that into eating for your blood type?
Absolutely. And you want to do
Okay.
that. And I know a lot of time for women over 40, 45,
Hmm.
50 with hormonal changes heading into menopause, oftentimes
Hmm.
we think, oh, it's a hormonal balance. I can't lose weight. I can't gain muscle because I'm
Mm.
menopausal or premenopausal.
Right.
So much of that
Right.
is one, as a woman who is premenopausal or menopausal, our estrogen decreases.
Hmm.
That is the optimal time to put on muscle.
Hmm.
Yes. Like you
So
literally
yeah,
do a
I was
lot.
gonna say that. Yeah, sounds like that's the
It's
yeah.
a
Okay.
great time to do it. The
Yeah.
other thing about it is it's not so much just hormones and slow down and you can't lose weight, but all of the things you did if you were a mom or you know you worked a big career, you did all these things, you slow down. If you're not chasing kids and shuttling folks to practices or running to
Right.
work,
Right.
you literally slow down. When you're an empty nester, you go from cooking every day and preparing meals to like, you know what, I might not cook this week at all.
Right.
And
Right.
people don't
Right.
take
It's
that.
the life they don't. So they don't take the lifestyle change into
No.
account either.
Yeah,
Okay.
you stop moving as much, you're not eating
Yeah.
as much, and now you've gained 20 pounds, and we want to blame it purely on hormones. Some of it may be hormonal, but the other side of it is
But not a lot. Right. Maybe 5 pounds hormones, but the other
right.
15.
The other
Yeah.
15 is no, you had six.
Well, no, I had to tell you, you cut me deep with the pizza part, but it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I like pizza.
I
It's
love
cool.
pizza. I love it. I have it in moderation. I do because I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
it. So
Well, I'll tell you, I'm gonna share this real quick. Two stories about pizza. Right. First of all, we started kind of making our own pizza, a little bit healthier. Right. Now we don't make the dough, but at least you know what you're putting on your pizza, that kind of thing. Right. So it's a bit healthier option. But what prompted that was there was one month, this was some years ago, right? I got a young daughter, and at one point in the month, we had ordered, I had ordered so much pizza because didn't feel like cooking, busy working, all this. The delivery guy, the delivery guy, right? You messing with your tip, sir. The delivery guy looked at my receipt before he gave me the pizza. It was like, wow, you've ordered a lot this month. I was like, yeah, can I have the pizza? But
Judge me.
I mean, I'm helping you. I'm helping you put your kids through college.
Right.
But it made me think. It was like, oh, wait a minute. How much are we really eating this, right? How is that contributing? And then what are we showing her?
Yes.
So Made me think. But yeah, couldn't believe the delivery
Now,
guy
let me
said
ask you this question. Since you
that. Sure.
make it on your own now, clearly with better ingredients, you know what's in it. Are you
Hmm.
eating it as much?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's no it and so right that goes into, oh well, what's in the processed pizza that we order that, dare I say, is addictive? But that's another conversation for another day. But that's addictive,
A
right?
lot is, especially if it has MSG in the ingredients.
A lot. So a lot of the ingredients that we put on our own pizza has a lot less of those ingredients because now we are intentional with what we put on it.
Mhm.
But I won't talk too much about the delivery guy, and I won't say he worked for Pizza Hut or anything. I mean, you know, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. But all right, so let's go ahead and jump